think probably first of all the biggest thing that you notice is that the children are really excited when they do a quest lesson,
For sure.
Yeah, sure.
and that they feel it's something different to the normal curriculum.
Promoting that love of learning just even more, doesn't it? For sure.
And it's also the little links that they make across the week with the different elements of learning from the other curriculums as well. They'll start off with the quest learning at the very beginning of the week, but then they start to think about how is this interlinking with our English, our maths, or it was the geography. I think they constantly were mentioning, oh, this is interdisciplinary learning, but they're getting that vocabulary and they're using it as if it was always theirs.
And it's coming from them, isn't it? It's not us saying to them, "Oh, think back to what you learnt in geography," or link it to your science learning. They're coming to us and they're saying, "Oh, remember when we did this? This is like what we did in science. This is like what we did in geography. This is like what we did in history."
The biggest thing has been, it's that question of what impact are we having on the children with any aspect of learning that we do. And I think when we had our initial training, one thing that's really stuck with our team is the me, the us, and the them. So it's that understanding of how does it impact me, how does it impact us around us, the community, and how does it impact globally.
And I think as well that the children realising that they've got a really big part to play in that too. That they can have this impact not just on Hill Avenue, not just on Wolverhampton, not just on England, but they can actually have this impact globally.
It helps them become that global citizen, doesn't it? It really does, for sure. And as well as that, I think as practitioners, the way we've planned, we've really looked at the way we produce our lessons and we've adapted them to make them more hands-on, focusing on the quest, even our English and maths, trying to just make it more inquiry based, for sure. I think now, because we've been questing for so long and we've been thinking of teaching in the new Nordic way, it's become easier to plan, for sure. So I think we're moving forward, it's only going to become easier because we can look at what we've done in the past, we can tweak the things that have gone well, we can tweak things that needed improving, and then learn from it and then implement it on the future quests. So it's always building on from each other, isn't it? That knock-on effect.
Expanding on what you've just said there, like Tate does, the fact that the quests have brought to us this idea of a journey. You're on a journey when it comes to your quest. There's always a final outcome, and we've really taken that on board with the rest of the wider curriculum as well, and the English. And each lesson now they've got a little bit of a roadmap. I do this because that's what we do. We have a roadmap, and within that roadmap, the children have that understanding of where have we begun, even if it's an English journey. Where are we starting at? What's our end outcome? And that, for us as practitioners, has helped to identify what do we need to be showing the children, what are we teaching to get to that final outcome.
And what are the key skills they need from the beginning of the week to the final product at the end, and how they can implement them all the way through the week.
I think what's been brilliant as well is because sort of at the centre of it is the Sustainable Development Goals, and I think it's that actually when you hear the children talk about them, they've got a real understanding about what they are, and you'll take your sustainable development goal and the children will think, oh, I want to learn this about it, or I want to talk about this, or I've spoken to this with my grown-up at home, and they're bringing the questions to us as well.
I think it makes them aware of the wider world as well, because the summit that was going on in Edinburgh not long ago, they were so hooked linking that with their quest learning, the things they're seeing at home, it makes them, as we go back to the global citizen, they really want to get involved, looking at the news, looking at real world matters and looking how they can implement that in their learning. And in the future it's only going to benefit them, isn't it?
What's really lovely is that when you step away from it, you think, actually, look at this really rich curriculum we're providing them. They're still getting all of the national curriculum, their English, their maths, but then, you feel like you're giving them something additional as well. And you just feel like you're giving them something else, don't you?
Yeah.
And what's really fantastic is it doesn't stay in school. They're taking that learning home with them. One of the children in our class, he's gone home, he's researched what can he do, what can he do to have an impact on the world. Deforestation is occurring, we've got the illegal wildlife trade and things like that. And he's actually brought to us something that we could potentially do as a whole school. So it's that link of, it's us, we're going to be the first ones to make that change. And it's so small, but it's huge.
parents, they can decide what they want to do. They can portray the learning in their way, and therefore they're going to become more engaged with it because they can take their own lead, can't they? It's just
They
taking a
know we're
step
not
back.
going to say to them, no, you can't present it like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's we're valuing, you know, their input. You know, that they're presenting it how they want to.
And the discussions and things that they're talking to each other, not even the class teacher. You can hear them as you go around the classroom, real in-depth discussions and a real understanding, because that's where you find it in the collaborative work. You get the real understanding instead of the class teacher being at the front, relaying the knowledge and them trying to retain it. You get a better understanding.